There's a moment in Sable where you get on your hoverbike for the first time. The music kicks in, and you just go. Just you, this huge sand desert, and the song that sounds like someone composed it while standing at the edge of something beautiful and a little sad at the same time. I didn't put the controller down for a while after that. I want to talk about this game, not because it's perfect. It is not even close to perfect. But there is something in it that I have not really found anywhere else, and I think that thing is worth talking about. Let's start with who made this. Shedworks. Two people, Gregorios Kytriotis and Daniel Feinberg. They started the studio in 2014, literally in a garden shed in North London belonging to Gregorios' parents. At some point, in a pub, probably with a beer in hand, they decided to make an open-world game. They have since admitted this was a poor decision. I find this deeply relatable and also deeply alarming. Open world is the scope decision that kills studios. It is the kind of thing you decide before you understand what you're deciding. And then you have to roll with it, because what else are you going to do? Quit? They didn't quit. They just shipped it in September 2021, 4 years after they started, after multiple delays. The game ended up somewhere between 200,000 and 500,000 copies sold on Steam alone, according to Steam Spy estimates. The thing that grabs you first is how it looks. The art is inspired to Jean Giraud, who worked under the name of Moebius. He was a French comic artist who died in 2012. What Shedworks did was not just copy the look. They built a custom shader in Unity to make a 3D open world actually feel like you're moving through those flat comic panels. Objects are defined by outlines. Colors are soft and slightly unreal. There is no harsh lighting trying to fake real shadows. The reason the desert is a desert, by the way, is not just aesthetic. A small team simply could not build a rich, detailed open world at that scale. So they chose a place where emptiness was the point. They thought of the dunes as a seascape and the points of interest as islands. There is one side effect of this art style though. The same shader that makes everything look beautiful also creates situations where you can see outlines of objects through other objects, or shadows that flicker in weird ways, or the sky doing something unexpected during the day-night cycle. It is a consequence of the technique. When you push a 3D environment to look like a 2D illustration, the engine is doing something that it was not really built for. The composer of the music is Michelle Zauner. She is better known as the frontwoman of Japanese Breakfast, an indie rock band. She is not a game composer, she is a musician who grew up playing games, released a mini RPG alongside her second album in 2017, and then got a Twitter DM from Daniel Feinberg, who saw the RPG and thought she would be a good fit. She has said a lot of musicians ask her how she got that job. The honest answer is she made the game out of love. Someone noticed and a door opened. She worked on the soundtrack from 2017 to 2021. She said her inspirations included Breath of the Wild and the Final Fantasy IX soundtrack. She had to learn how to write music that loops without feeling like it loops, that changes character between day and night, that fills a huge silent desert without feeling it too much. The result is, in my opinion, one of the best video game soundtracks in years. Sound design and music are not decoration. They are 30 to 40% of the emotional experience, sometimes more. In Sable, it might be higher than that. The soundtracks are where it gets really beautiful. There is a song called Better the Mask on the menu screen. Zauner said it might be the best song she has ever written. I'm not going to argue with her. What the ambient tracks do is harder to explain. They have a quietness that matches the world. When you are riding your bike through the dunes at night and the tempo drops and the instrumentation thins out and the whole thing just breathes. That is not a coincidence. She designed the nighttime versions of each theme to have slower tempos and sparser arrangements specifically for those moments. The story is simple, and probably that is the right choice. You play as Sable, a young woman leaving her nomadic land to go on a rite of passage called gliding. She has to find her mask. The mask you wear tells everyone who you are, what role you have chosen in society. The whole game is you traveling the desert, meeting people, doing small things for them, and gradually figuring out what kind of person you want Sable to be. The quests are mostly simple fetch tasks. Go here, bring this back, fix this thing. There is a climbing system. If you can see a wall, you can probably climb it. Monuments, ruins, crests, spaceships embedded in the rock. There is stuff on top of things. You want to get to the top of the things to get the stuff. Let me start with the negative aspects. The hoverbike completely unhinged the second you hit anything. Any slight bump, any dune with unexpected angle, and the bike launches into the air and spins. There are also quite a few bugs. The shader sometimes lets you see the outlines of objects through other objects. Items float in the air where they should be on the ground. The sky changes color suddenly in ways that have nothing to do with the day-night cycle. Currency amounts get stuck on the screen. There's also probably a culling problem. A lot of these bugs have been fixed in patches since the 2021 launch. The game is in better shape now than at release. Maybe not all of the bugs have been fixed, but I think the game now is really in a better shape. Now, let's talk about the positive aspects. The thing about Sable is that it does not feel like most games. What it has is a feeling of space. The desert between locations in Sable is actually empty. You ride through it and nothing happens, and that is fine. There is a quality to it that I can only describe as a children's illustrated book you find in a second-hand shop. There is something in there that is clearly made with care, for a reason that is not purely commercial, and you feel that reason even if you cannot name it exactly. Sable is a game made by people who cared more about the feeling than the systems. This is definitely a game I would recommend. If you have played the game, I would really like to know what you felt. Drop it in the comments. Thanks for watching.